Alright guys, welcome to another video. Actually gonna change it up a little bit from what I've been doing up to this point. So if you guys have been following my channel at all, right, you probably notice I'm very analytical. I'm a nerd. I like to overthink things. Well, I like to really think about things, get into the details, right? Some people call it overthinking. For me, it's just thinking. And just to talk about stuff I'm interested in, right? When I'm putting out videos, it's actually really easy. If I wanted to put out a video every day, I could, just because I could just record, just talk about some random stuff that I've been thinking about, and you can make a video out of it. But what I wanted to do, or start doing, is to incorporate another skill set I have, right? So one skill set I have that I haven't incorporated is I'm actually really good at holding a space for a certain mood. So I'm still gonna make Rise of Kingdom videos. I'm still gonna talk about certain topics, but I want a theme or a mood for each video I put out, right? That's why you're gonna see like a theme / mood. I haven't decided what's the title gonna be. So that way, if you wanna watch the video, listen to it, and still get the content, you'll still get the content. But if you actually just want to put it on, you know, whatever I'm talking about, you want to pay attention, you just want to kind of bask in the mood, you get that as well, right? So it's just a silly idea. I'm going to try it out. It'll either work or it doesn't, but that's where we're going to go with that, right? So while I'm talking about this, I'm going to tend to my farm. So that's what you're going to see on the screen here, right? So you can see right here, I have my main, and then I have 6 farms. I think the goal is to get a couple more farms. I think it's really important to self-scout, right? So self-scouting is, at least I learned that term from sports. And in sports, right, during the off season, or when you, in college football, or I guess the NFL, when you have like a bye week, so a week where you don't play, you start assessing your strengths and weaknesses and start working on it. And doing some self-scouting, I'll make a more in-depth video on this later, to be able to move up to the Imperium level, but also for my account to go to the next level. It's not just getting better commanders, vending equipment, all that stuff, right? There's a path I'm on for that. It'll get to wherever it gets to, but I need to actually start focusing on my farms. And there are some barriers to starting farms for me, right? One, it just seems really boring, but when the purpose of starting the farms really like clicked in, all of a sudden starting new farms and tending to it actually became almost soothing and enjoyable in a way. So that's what I'm going to be doing here, okay? But in the meantime, what I like to talk about is whether Rise of Kingdom does it require skills, right? I think I made a comment in a couple of my dot fighting videos that it's not a very skillful game, right? And I was more so comparing it with, say like a game like PUBG, or probably like Fortnite. I haven't actually played Fortnite. I played PUBG for a few years, like a first-person shooter. The skill for that, it requires you to be able to react really quickly with precision, right? So whether you're sniping, you're like close range fighting, usually whoever reacts faster and is more accurate wins, right? And as you have a handle on that, you have more confidence, and you're maneuvering around, you can outmaneuver people, you can like do crazier and crazier stuff, but it's actually the whole skill set is based off of you being able to react faster than the other person and be more accurate than the other person. So obviously, from that perspective, it's not a very high skill game in Rise of Kingdoms, right? Another way to measure skill, for example, would be if you guys ever played a game like Command and Conquer, right? So like strategy games, like StarCraft, that's a better example. That one, the intensity is very high, right? You're rushing for speed, like it's how many things you can manage at once in a short amount of time for speed. So, right, you're not necessarily reacting off of a dynamic environment like a first-person shooter, right, where there's like you're literally aware of the position of the other person in the same way, even though you are aware of what the other side is doing. And like StarCraft, it's all about how fast and how precise you can manage a bunch of different things in a short amount of time. So maybe you can get your troops out a little bit faster, and you're simultaneously marching and grouping your troops in a certain area while going back and tending to producing more resources. So it's a lot higher intensity, right? Rise of Kingdoms is a little bit closer to that than first-person shooters, but it's a much slower pace. If you ever played StarCraft at a higher level, like the Rise of Kingdom pace is a lot slower. But in my opinion, Rise of Kingdom does require skill, and the skill set it requires is actually a mix of RPG, but building in the long run, the ability to kind of grasp mathematics conceptually, so you can figure out what's more efficient, what's not more efficient. And then another one is actually the ability to be social and then work together as a team. All right, so what I mean by that, I mentioned in StarCraft where you're managing a lot of stuff in a short amount of time, right? You don't have that time constraint or that ability, that need to just react really fast to everything all at once. But there is a lot of different systems you're worrying about, right? So like here, I'm tending to my farms. You're also worrying about building up your commanders. You're worrying about building up your equipment, armaments. And for each one of those, there's actually a efficiency or the quote unquote best way to go about it. And every once in a while something will come out and that meta is going to change, and it's either up to you to figure it out or you're actually interested enough in it to watch videos for other people to make their case, and then you follow them, right? And it could be a little bit different for commanders as opposed to equipment, and you're actually managing all of those things at once. And what they actually turn into is your ability to perform on the field, or for garrison and rallies, right? So the fighting part is not necessarily high skill, but the ability to actually manage all those things and then put it together to be able to fight better does require high skill. So for me personally, if I can't remember the last time I played a driving game, but you guys haven't figured it out by now. I'm Asian. It's in my profile picture. But the stereotype is true. I'm not a good driver, and I actually also suck at driving games, right? And I did play PUBG for a few years, so first-person shooters. I played Halo back in the day, and PUBG was my intro to Battle Royale. I actually never played Call of Duty or anything else, and I got to be, say, like above average at it. Like I was okay. I was probably better than most people, maybe like 80% of the people, but the people that are good, I'm a noob compared to them, and that's probably the limit. Like that's just how fast I can react. Even if I played a lot more, I don't think I could have gotten a lot better, right? So everyone also has what they're more gifted in and what they're less gifted in, right? I'm not gifted in driving games. I'm not gifted in first-person shooters, but this game always I took really well to this game just because I love more big picture, having a bunch of things to worry about at once, and then figuring out what's the best approach to improving that big picture all at once. And I love PvP. So think in PvP there's 1v1, which is fun, right? I like PvP 1v1. But then also if you think there's a game like World of Warcraft, right? You could do like 3v3, 5v5, or some of the games I played back in the day where you could have a guild fight. So you literally have maybe 20 versus 20, right? But when you expand that out even further, it becomes like kingdom versus kingdom. There's a lot more people, and there's a lot of different components to it. It's not just field fighting, right? The field fighting is in support of actually getting better territory, and then getting better territory actually will help you better at field fighting. The fighting's not over in 30 minutes or an hour, right? Sometimes the Kingsland or even just a zone could last 2 or 3 weeks, and then it becomes a long game. So I don't think a lot of people realize this. Observing the KVK with 2268 right now, right? I think what I notice is a lot of people probably need to reassess their pacing, right? And what I mean by pacing is, for example, if you're going to run a mile, right, and here in the States, a mile is going to be 400 meters, right? So 1,600 meters, and usually a 400 meter is a lap. So if you're going to run a mile, which is 4 laps, you don't get a prize for winning the first lap, right? You might feel a little bit good about yourself because you're ahead, but then if that's actually taken away from your performance in the second, third, and fourth lap, you took the wrong strategy to maybe get some gratification in the short term, but the discipline or the planning ahead wasn't there, where you finish better overall. And that's a skill set, right? Having that awareness, being able to plan things out, maybe using T4s only when you kind of want to use some T5s in it to help manage your resources. It's a skill set, right? We don't think about it as skill just because usually when we think skill, right? And I did the same thing. It's like, oh, okay, first person shooter, right? Some of the, I think like Shroud was a guy I watched. That's actually, I think, how I found PUBG, or first saw PUBG. You're just mesmerized by how fast and how accurate he is at reacting and targeting someone, right? Whereas like managing pacing in KVK and not blowing your load in Zone 5, we don't think about it as a skill, but it actually is. Because how do you really fight full out on the field, but then you set the parameters where you can be successful in the next zone and all the way up into Kingsland. So in conclusion with this, PUBG is, not PUBG, Rise of Kingdoms is a high skill game, but the skill set isn't how fast you react or how much you can manage a lot of information in a short amount of time. It's actually a long grind, right? There is a long game RPG element. There's a very, very real like social element where I would say the community for this game is a lot stronger than probably any other game I played. And I played a decent amount of games. And then the scale in which you're actually working as a team is bigger than any game I play, right? Because when you're in KVK, it's not just your alliance, it's your kingdom that you're working together in. And then you know, with the camp system, sometimes you're working together with multiple other kingdoms to form a camp or coalition. And then on an even bigger scale, coalitions will partner up to fight other coalitions together, right? So a lot of it is being able to see the big picture, seeing how you contribute to that, seeing, like, learning the intricacies of the game that you have to learn. So that, for example, there are certain parts of the game that I'm more knowledgeable in because that's relevant to me, right? So if you look at the videos I talk about, really it's all about field fighting, and really the culture building of a kingdom, the more like big picture strategies. But I know nothing or very little besides just the stuff that I see or the basics of building territory. You know, I've never been leadership in any alliance. I avoided it at all costs. I don't think anyone really asked me. And the reason why is because I own a business in real life and I already have to be responsible and lead people and make decisions. And it actually feels really good to just be a grunt field fighter and then have other people tell me what to do and I just follow instructions. So when it comes to like trying to drop Imperium, try to keep your power down, like all the details for that, I know the general idea of it, but I've never had to worry about that. I just don't know much about it. So, you know, if it's not something I know much about, you'll never hear me talk about it, right? So just another way to think about this game, if you're, let's see, I'm kind of losing my train of thought here, but does this game require skill? The answer is yes, but just not in the way a lot of people think about it. And I don't know who's going to watch this video. I think a lot of people that watch, it's actually a really funny thing. I was looking at my YouTube analytics today, and 99.8% of the people that watch my videos are male. So basically 2 out of 1,000 people that watch my video is female. The ratio is it almost couldn't be more skewed, right? So maybe with this theme, where I have like a theme and whatever I talk about is just another component of the video, maybe I'll balance that out a little bit more. But I guess I'm going to end here. That's my thoughts for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it to the end, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. I think my goal right now is to get to a point where I can stream and monetize. So that's 500 subscribers. I think I need like 3,000 hours watch. Right now, I think I'm at like around 410 subscribers and like about 2,000 hours watch. So I'm getting there. I think it'll be really fun to be able to stream and kind of chat live with people while I'm doing some of this stuff. So again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like if you found value or you enjoy this, and I'll talk to you guys next time.